Screw it. Just get to the intro. I don't even want to talk about this film as it is. At least there's one more movie after this. I hope. Hey, what is up, you guys? It's me, Sam N0VA198 again. Today, I'm going to be talking about the second film. I still can't believe this got a second film in this new trilogy of horror movies, and that is The Strangers Chapter 2. And it's out. I tried to avoid it, but I knew deep down inside I couldn't, because I would have to do a video about it, because I reviewed Chapter 1. Might as well review Chapter 2 and see if it's improved or gotten worse, which you should know this by now. But yeah, and I'm going to be real about this movie. I was not excited for Strangers Chapter 2 at all. I hated Chapter 1. To me, it was one of the most lazy, worthless, and probably the most pathetic horror film I've seen in a very long time. When I reviewed it in 2024, the first Chapter 1, I was extremely pissed off reviewing it, because not only was it an exact carbon copy of the original Strangers from 2008, it was literally the laziest remake I'd ever seen in my life. There was no improvements, there was no big changes, and it failed. And they said this is supposed to be like a reboot or prequel or whatever. It didn't matter. Chapter 1 was god-awful. I hated Chapter 1. It might be one of the worst horror movies I've seen of the decade, next to Exorcist Believer and probably Tarot. But yeah, Strangers Chapter 2, I was not looking forward to, but apparently when I looked up after watching it that they said I think from what I heard, it was supposed to come out earlier this year, but it got delayed, I think because they were doing some reshoots, I heard. So yeah, so I watched it the other day. I watched Strangers Chapter 2 the other day. And what did I think of it? Let's talk about the story. Okay, so the story for Strangers Chapter 2 begins right where the last one left off. Maya's in the hospital. She survived her attack with, I guess, the Strangers, Scarecrow, pinup doll, or pinup girl, or doll face, whatever the hell you want to call the Strangers. I just call them Strangers because Stranger 1, Stranger 2, Stranger 3, they're all interchangeable. I don't give a shit what their names are. And now the Strangers are coming back to basically finish the job. They're trying to kill Maya, and they're pretty much trying to do everything they can, and Maya is trying to escape them, basically get away from them the best that she can. Now, will she get out? Will she survive the Strangers? And will she make it to Strangers Chapter 3? Do I really have to tell you about this? Do I really have to tell you the story of Strangers Chapter 2 sucks? Because it does. Literally, the story in this film is the perfect example of a shitty middle quote part of a story where it's basically the middle chapter of a trilogy. And usually with middle chapters of trilogies, that can work, like Dune. Like, they're coming out with Dune Messiah next year, which you can't wait for. But here the story is just, and the plot is just basically Maya trying to escape the Strangers, and the Strangers basically being too fucking stupid to kill her. Like, there's so many times where you'd think they're gonna kill her, but they just don't. They don't. They're incompetent. The killers in The Strangers are the most incompetent killers I've ever seen. Because not only do they not kill, I know the whole point is, well, they want to psychologically torture their victims, but they do that so much that you're just waiting for it to end. Like, it's the most boring film. None of the characters are interesting at all. Like, there's like this one sheriff, like, cop character. The sheriff and the cop characters, they're the ones that are trying to, like, I guess, figure out, when in actuality, I'm pretty sure the sheriff, let's be real, is working with the Strangers. It's such a boring mess, and, like, they explain one of the members of the Strangers, and they explain sort of how they got together. They explain Pinup Girl's origin. You're probably gonna be wondering, oh, well, that's a spoiler. Who gives a shit? Like, if it's obvious right now, I don't recommend this movie. I'm gonna talk about that in a sec, but, yeah, the story sucks. It's bad. It's boring. There's so many stupid moments. Like, and also, like, there's just so many dumb moments where I'm like, well, you could have killed her right there. Why didn't you? And, like, it's just so it was such bullshit. And the way it ended made me even more mad that it just ends like on a to be continued, like Chapter 1 did, because they want to make one more freaking movie. So anyways, let's talk about the acting. Okay, now in terms of acting, there's not many characters in this film. A lot of Maya, she tries, the girl that plays Maya, she tries, but honestly, she couldn't save the film, and most of the dialogue is not very good. The acting is not very good either. Maya's the only one that gave a shit. The strangers don't really talk, and they don't really say anything, so they're not really that great of actors to begin with. And yeah, acting-wise, pretty shit, to be honest, besides Maya, or the girl that played Maya. Anyways, let's move on to the horror of the movie, and was I scared? Let's ask that question, because it is a horror movie. Okay, so in terms of horror in the movie, I'm going to be quite honest, I was not scared in the slightest watching this. It was, like, when the strangers, they just walk around and bumble and try to find Maya and they fail miserably, it's just not entertaining or scary. Like, at one point, I'm just like, alright, can you just find her? Because, like, honestly, like, there's one moment where you're like, okay, she got one of the strangers, like, spoilers for the film, I don't know if you give a shit, but she eventually has this moment where she's in, like, a car and one of the strangers, I think it's Pinup Doll or whatever, and she attacks Maya, and it was suspenseful, but I'm like, I know, but the problem is, I know there's going to be a third chapter, so she's going to be Maya's going to make it out to the end, and to be honest, like, it just was like this, there was no fear to it. I mean, there's a whole moment where Maya gets attacked by a wild boar, and the CGI looks absolutely terrible. Like, it just looks so fake, and above all else, it just was like, I feel like when the boar attack happened, I was like, what is this, the Revenant? Like, what is this, the Stranger's Revenant or whatever? It just wasn't scary. Like, and there's no moment where I was like, oh, that was so scary. Even the kills suck. They're the most basic kills I've ever seen in a movie. Like, there's a scene where I guess Scarecrow or Baghead or whatever the hell his name is attacks, like, like one of the people at the hospital, because the first, I'd say 20 or so minutes of the movie take place in a hospital, and then she escapes. But in the whole hospital scene, like, most of the kills are off screen, and it's really, really shitty. I mean, even with the maybe it's just because I'm spoiled with the Terrifier movies. It's just, the kills in this movie suck. There's a whole part where you see Scarecrow, and it cuts away to him, like, to, like, the aftermath. You don't even see the body. Like, I think he, like, you see an axe, like, him pull out, because, like, you think it's gonna hit him in the head, but it doesn't. It hits him, like, in the chest, which I'm like, what? Wasn't it supposed to hit him here? I'm sorry, I'm going insane. But let me talk about one more thing before I get to my final verdict and if I recommend this. Spoilers. I don't recommend it. Anyways, let's get into the one aspect I want to talk about. Okay, so one thing I do want to talk about with this movie is I find this to be a complete bullshit lie, and that is for the fact that apparently for Strangers Chapter 2, they actually heard the feedback. The director heard the feedback and criticisms that people had with Chapter 1, and he was like, you know what? I'm going to reshoot it. I'm going to delay the film. I think it was supposed to come out way earlier this year, probably January, but it got pushed back, I think, to September. Because I remember seeing the trailer for this movie, like, last year around Halloween, and it got delayed till whenever, and yeah, they apparently did reshoots. I honestly do not buy that at all. This film, the reshoots barely helped. It's still a shitty movie. It's god-awful, and it's just, I'm like, look, reshoots can help a movie get better, but when a movie you would say, oh yeah, we're gonna fix it, there's gonna be reshoots, it's gonna be even better, and you barely did anything different. Because I honestly would love to see what the original cut of this film looked like, see if it was any better, because I fucking doubt it. Yeah, I don't believe buy that shit whatsoever. And yeah, let's get into the final verdict. I'm annoyed that I even have to waste my time talking about this movie, because yeah, I hate this franchise. I'm sorry, I hate this franchise and everything about it. It's a terrible franchise. You know what? The idea could have worked with it, but anyways, let's get into the final verdict. Now, would I recommend this film? Absolutely not. This was a terrible film. It is worse in almost every way than the first one. This time they actually tried to do an original story and not just rip off the first or Prey at Night. It's a worse movie in nearly every way, which good job, good job, because you obviously, I don't believe when they say they did reshoots for this film at all. This is still a piece of shit, and I do not recommend it. This is easily one of the worst movie I've watched so far this year. And I've seen some bad films this year, but man, I don't know if there's going to be anything that's going to top this, unless I watch something that came out earlier this year that I missed out on. But yeah, I don't recommend Strangers Chapter 2. In fact, I don't even recommend this franchise. Like, it's a shame, because it took a good idea, like, of where, because random acts of violence do happen towards people, and you could do something scary with that, but you don't. You make the most boring, bland characters. You give us killers that aren't even remotely interesting or really unique. They just kind of show up. It's like, if you want to do a good villain that's sadistic and psychotic, look at Art the Clown. Great movie villain. But yeah, Strangers Chapter 2 is dog shit. It's awful. Do not watch it. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Sorry if I seemed like I was more ranting in this one, because because in a way I was hoping this would have been better than Chapter 1, but it wasn't. It was worse in nearly every way. And yeah, so hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope to see you guys next time. And my next film I'm going to be reviewing is actually going to be much more positive. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I will see you guys next time, and goodbye.